Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, this is Jeremy Smith. Kind of keeping in theme with the last video where I kind of talked to you guys about some different sort of like lighting patterns. I decided to move on to the next perimeter that we could talk about with light. Of course, there's many perimeters, but another one I thought that would be very important would be to discuss the color of light. And when we start thinking about the color of light, we start thinking about a setting on our camera called white balance, which actually allows us to compensate for different colors of light. We can take our camera through many different white balance presets, and those different presets basically allow the camera to apply more yellow or more blue to the image to compensate for light that's very, very blue or very, very yellow. Let's go ahead and take a closer look at my test scene here, and we'll get right into this. Taking a closer look at our test scene comprised of vintage tech, and yes, in case you're curious, all this stuff actually still works. We do have a single light panel right now. That light panel is set to 5600K, and 5600K is going to kind of fall within that daylight range. Daylight can be even up to around 6500K or so, but basically this means that our light doesn't have a very, very strong color cast. It's not very, very blue. It's not very, very yellow. If we think about more yellow light sources, more so-called warm light sources, we might think about something like, the setting sun, or we may think about a candle or a traditional incandescent light bulb. All those light sources are going to fall within that 1000 to 2000 to 3000K approximately range. If we start thinking about the opposite end of the spectrum, we would start thinking about so-called cooler light, or light that's more blue. So we start thinking about something along, let's say, 7, 8, 9, 10,000K range. And that's going to be more like, say, a very heavily overcast day, or something like even the shade of a building, or just shade period. Or if we think about something like a very blue sky, all those are going to fall in that bluer, more cool range of our color spectrum. So right now, I'm going to take a photograph. We are on the automatic white balance setting. And with its very neutral light, the auto white balance setting actually works out really well. This is a situation where you don't have any type of issues if you are shooting under, say, light that's very neutral. Now, if we start photographing under light that has some type of color cast to it, that's where we start thinking about some of our other presets. And by the way, the camera recording this is set to a constant 5600K to be able to match the color temperature of our light panel. So it won't be changing during this, but I will be bringing up some still photographs from the camera that I am changing the white balance on, so you guys can kind of see. Now we're going to go ahead and take this light panel. I want to take it to a very, very warm color temperature. I've brought it down to 3200K right now, and you guys can see that our video changed drastically. I'm going to go ahead and take another still photo. And the camera taking the stills is still on automatic white balance. You guys will notice that right now, even though we're still on automatic, this particular result looks much, much warmer than our previous result. And this is something that's actually not so bad on modern day cameras because they actually cope with this very yellow light really well. But on older cameras especially, their automatic white balance performance under very warm light sources was just terrible. But we see a much better improvement now. So you guys can see how that works out. Now, if we wanted to kind of not have as much of a yellow cast, we could use one of the main presets I'm going to tell you guys about in this video other than automatic, and that is our incandescent mode. Sometimes this is also referred to as tungsten on some cameras. And what this is going to do is this is going to basically add a bunch of blue to add up, or to make up rather, for the presence of the very yellow light. Okay, so you guys can kind of see this is what this picture looks like. And you'll notice that it actually looks pretty neutral. It looks much, much better than the previous shots. The thing I will mention to you guys though is that white balance is somewhat subjective. So some of you may prefer a warmer look or a cooler look depending on your preferences there. I mean, this is something that can be used for artistic purposes. If you were shooting, and let's just say that you did want to get a little bit different look to daylight color light. So we'll go ahead and go back to daylight. Okay, so we're back on 5600. If you did want to get a warmer look to daylight, this is where I'll mention the next setting I often tell people about, and that is going to be the cloudy setting. So if we go to cloudy is going to actually look very similar to just the standard auto in this mode or in this situation, but it is going to kind of add a little bit more warmth to things, because remember I told you guys that typically a cloudy day is a little bit cool in color, so this is going to kind of warm things up a bit. Some folks will actually leave their camera set on this mode all the time. Personally, I'm just too cool of a guy for that. But, you know, if you aren't as cool as me and you just want that warmer look all the time, you can leave your camera set to the cloudy setting. I will occasionally use this if I'm going to take some photographs and I want to bring out like the colors of fall foliage or something along those lines. Okay, so those are the main settings that I recommend a lot. I'll show you guys one other thing too real fast. We'll go back to our incandescent setting for a moment. And remember, our light is still on a daylight temperature. It's on 5600. If we use the incandescent mode in this situation, you guys will notice that now it looks extremely messed up. Like it's very, very, very blue. Because remember, the camera is adding a lot of blue, expecting there to be a lot of yellow there. And of course, if there is light that is more blue already there, and we add blue on top of blue, we get crazy blue, right? One thing to keep in mind is that this is something that sometimes is used for artistic effect. As I just mentioned, I'm kind of a cool guy. So oftentimes I do use this as a creative effect in my photographs. If you guys want to see how I do this in a future video, just write me in the comments and I'll see about getting that one made for you too. Now, some of you may be wondering, what about all the other settings on my camera? Well, here's a story about those. You know, there are a lot of other settings. There is several different fluorescent settings on your cameras a lot of times. All those are kind of more of an approximation. And the other thing that happens with color temperature is you don't just have warm to cool. Some of these artificial light sources have a so-called tint about them. A lot of fluorescent lights have a very, very greenish sort of tint, and sometimes they even have a sort of pinkish magenta tint. And that's what those additional modes are aimed to kind of compensate for. But since fluorescent lights vary so much in color, I don't recommend you use those modes. If you run into those very, very strong light color cast, there's going to be a second part of this video where we're going to talk about that. If you already know what I'm going to say on that, I'm curious to know your thoughts. Write those in the comments below. Otherwise, be on the lookout for a future video. Alright guys, that's basically white balance. In conclusion, a few things you can take away from this. Number one, if you are dealing with light that is a very, very strong color cast or has a very strong color cast, especially if it's a more yellow color, that would be a time when your automatic white balance mode may not work as well. That would be a good situation where you may want to go with the tungsten or the incandescent setting. If you are in a situation where you want to get more of a warmer light or more of a warmer color to your light, you can go ahead and give that cloudy setting a go. Remember, it doesn't have to be cloudy for you to actually try that setting. That setting will give you a just overall warmer look to your photos, so that can be a good thing if you desire that effect. One other thing I'll mention to you is that we also see that many of the cameras have a so-called white balance shift. And some cameras allow you to take a given preset and actually go in and bias that preset more towards a more warm or a more cool color tone. Typically on the cameras, it will express this with the letters A and B. A being amber, which is more warm, and B being blue, which is more cool. So you can kind of bias the preset one way or the other. And you may notice that you also have a tint bias also. So you can actually shift the color towards more of a green color or more of a magenta color also. So just keep that in mind. It's kind of interesting on cameras. Guys, the camera manufacturers, they're not your friends. They're here to sell you a product. So if you notice, if you have like a $300 or $400 camera, it's not going to have those advanced white balance settings. But if you have a $3,000 or $4,000 camera, it probably has all kinds of settings because the camera companies want you to go to a higher end product to have more control. That's just the way that happens. So keep that in mind too. If you decide that you want even more control over your white balance and you want to see more consistency, there are other ways that we can set our white balance, and we'll discuss that in another video. Also, one final point is, if you're using flash, you're either better off leaving your camera on the flash white balance or leaving it on the automatic white balance. Using flash with those other presets, that gets us into some specific things we'll talk about a little bit later on as well. Write me in the comments below if you have questions. That's how I take all you guys' feedback and I use that to make future videos. I hope everyone is well. Most of us are still in quarantine at this period, and that's why we're getting all these cool tutorials that I've had time to finally make. If you guys have questions, write me in the comments below. I look forward to your feedback. Until next time, this is Jeremy Smith, signing off.